Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News, and we have a Golden Bachelorette recap, a guy's review. It was Hometowns episode last night. I take notes and read them back to you. We talk. You guys leave comments. And how do you think this episode went? Did you enjoy it? Let me know. I talked a little bit about this on the podcast, and we've got a new Instagram account that is dedicated to all pop culture news. It's called The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. That Instagram account is another place you can leave comments and catch snippets and get other people's opinions and all that. Keep it kind, folks, as we try to do. All right, Hometowns, 4 men. We got Guy, then we have Pascal, then Jordan, and then Chalk. So we are chock full of drama as these guys make their final pitches for the lady. Again, no edits, no jump cuts, just me and you guys, and let's get into it. All right. We started off on Lake Tahoe with Guy. And by the way, I just did the She's All Batch podcast. I think it's getting released later today. And Stephanie did not know that Lake Tahoe is in California. So I get it. Maybe this is just the coastal elite in me from, California. But it is a beautiful, look how nice that lake looks. It's gorgeous. The surrounding mountains, beautiful in the summer, breathtakingly chilly in the winter. So they go on a boat. They throw some pebbles overboard to make a wish. Guy and Guy's wish is like, please don't let my restraining order come out. And sadly, it did. But he said, hey, it was a tough time for him, and I take him at his word for it unless proven otherwise. He seems like a decent guy. Guy and Joan, they're struggling to open up to love. Joan still grieving her husband, feeling guilt. Guy afraid of being let down and let go. Then they go to Reno and they meet the family. So Reno is in Nevada, but it's on the California-Nevada line, and it's really right next to Lake Tahoe, right? Do I have this right? Lake Tahoe is not just in California. Let's do this. Lake Tahoe map. Can we just see for the sake of everybody? There it is. There's Lake Tahoe, and you can see there's a dividing line there between what's in California and what's not. There's Reno. See, do you guys see the line there? All right. So there it is, just so you guys knew. California's a large state, 5, 6, 7 hours north, South Lake Tahoe. It's all beautiful. Okay, you should go sometime. It's expensive. All right, anyway, let's continue. So they go to Reno, Reno 911. They meet the family, sisters, Greer and Gail. Let's go. There's the family. Good-looking batch of family there. And by the way, Nevada, great state. No state income tax. You can do a lot of things there. All of the guys, brothers and sisters have G names. Guy, Greer, Gail. Guy talks to daughter Mackenzie. Hank and Glenn, sons, talk to Joan and Guy. Guy says he's 9.5 out of 10 on the love scale. Says he would propose and has fallen for her. So look, this is what you want. You want a dad who's committed and knows what he wants. He says, I've fallen for you big time. And hey, come on, this is a guy, he's got some wealth, it seems. He's an ER doctor. They make good money, right? So, it seems like Guy's got a good shot at this. All right, let's move over to our Paris prince, the Parisian parasite. Chicago, we have Pascal. Joan likes that he is exciting. He reminds her of her husband, John. They go to the salon and he ties the cape around her waist. He says he's had his heart broken. His previous relationship made him think he wasn't ready to go on the show, but through the process, his walls are coming down. Joan really likes Pascal. Joan talks to the son, Maxim. And by the way, vicariously, just watching somebody shampoo somebody else's hair feels good to me. I was talking with Stephanie on her podcast about this. I love getting my hair shampooed. I think if heaven is a thing, every morning someone will shampoo my hair. Maybe that'll be the thing if I can ever, gain enough wealth, is I'll just hire someone to come in and they'll be like, sir, your morning shampoo. And I'll be like, right this way. And then I'll go and I'll have my moments and it'll be, there's something about the way that little curvature in the sink. Why don't we buy one of those sinks? Should we do that? Not that my wife's going to wash my hair. She's going to be like, checking me for ticks or whatever. Anyway, she's making sure, no Lyme disease here. All right. So where's Maxim? Let's go to Maxim. There's the family, and there's the son. We love a good moment. We love the dad hugging the son's head moment. Isn't that special? I think if you can't relate to it, we at least yearn for it, for those of us that didn't get hugs from our fathers. If you don't get a hug from your father, newsflash, you become a YouTuber. You got something wrong with you. You need dads who can hug. And hey, guess what? Sometimes you don't have a dad who can hug. Sometimes you have to become the dad who hugs. You got to break that cycle, folks. Everyone get out there and hug your kids. So anyhow, let's continue. It's neither here nor there. Joan really likes Pascal. Joan talks to the son. Son says he's had a lot of girlfriends, but is ready to settle down. Pascal cries talking to his son. Feels like he's done a good job as a dad. Joan talks Natalie. Joan says she's afraid she'll pick Pascal, but he won't pick her. He wore a Hermes belt and drove a sports car. So, of course, Pascal likes the finer things in life. But then again, Pascal, he worked his way up and he's earned it. He's self-made from all we are told. So, we go to Chicago. Well, we're already in Chicago. We stay in Chicago, and we go to see Jordan, Lou Malnati's deep dish. Have you guys ever had Lou Malnati's deep dish? I love a good deep dish pizza. I'm not saying I like Detroit style better than Chicago, but sometimes I do. But I do like Chicago. I like New York too. Heck, I like 7-Eleven pizza. I'm an absolute, loosey-goosey for pizza. Whatever kind of pizza you have, give it to me. But Lou Malnati's, I'm sure if you're from Chicago, you go, oh, Lou Malnati, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, hey, come on. You got to go get that kind of famous brand when you're visiting. All right, so Jordan's there, tells his brothers he won't be ready to say I love you and get engaged in 2 weeks, which I think is interesting, right? Because Jordan, it's another one of those instances where he's not wrong for the way he feels. I just think some of these other guys, I don't know if they fake it or what they do, but how could you, this show always talks about, you got to buy into it. You got to buy into it. It's like, no, that's what Bill Belichick said when they were winning Super Bowls. You got to buy into the team, and you would because it was Bill Belichick. You don't buy into The Bachelor because the success rate's so low. So you can't blame these guys for being like, I'm not going to propose after 2 weeks. That'll look ridiculous. Some people take a little bit longer to marinate, and Jordan's one of those guys. I don't think that means he has his walls up. I just think he thinks he's probably a little bit more skeptical-minded. And by the way, you want a partner who thinks differently than you. You don't want someone who's just as impulsive as you. There's always one partner who's like, do we really need to buy that? And the other partner's like, put it on the card. Let's go. You got to have a little bit of each. So Joan tells his daughters again that she worries that if she picked him, he wouldn't pick her. Same as she with Pascal. Daughter says she thinks he's afraid of getting his heart broken after divorce 10 years ago. The daughter warns him he needs to open up, that it's down to the wire. So there it is. Again, not looking good for him. But then we have, I guess, what is the penultimate date, the Pinnacle Date. We go over to Kansas here, and you never say, no offense to Kansas, but who wants to go to Kansas? I mean, you know what I mean? Even Taylor Swift doesn't want to go to Kansas because, Kansas City, it's not in Kansas. Even Kansas City doesn't want to be in Kansas. I know there's a Kansas City in Kansas. Oh, don't unfollow me, all you Dorothy lovers out there. It's going to be okay. What does Kansas have to offer? Someone, please let me know. Change my mind on Kansas. Can it? Kansas? I don't know. It's more like can't, sis, if you ask me. All right. Fly over why? I fly around. I don't even go over it. I fly around Kansas. Just kidding, folks. Joan rolls up to Wichita, Kansas to Chalk's buddy's ranch. Does look nice. Chalk tells his family he got the first kiss and he's gonna get the last kiss. Now, whatever happens in between, that's up to Joan. Joan meets Chalk's pop, and of course, his wife, Chalk's father's wife, just passed away. So Chalk's mother passed away. And they recognized the family matriarch, Dr. Jill. They planted an oak tree in her honor, which was very nice. Planted a kiss in his honor, too. Holy cow. And, look, it's a very beautiful tribute. Chalk's daughter had such a moving and emotional tribute to her grandmother. I thought that was all super kind. Of course, I thought it was a little strange that Joan partook in the soil kind of like shoveling part, that symbolic thing where they helped plant this tree. But hey, maybe she'll be part of the family. So then Jesse, awakens from his slumber, because we haven't had to see Jesse because he's proven himself as a good host and he can mail it in, hang out. I don't know how he hasn't gained 100 pounds. I'd be eating nonstop. I eat out of boredom, probably because I wasn't hugged enough by a father when I was a kid. Hey, I'm just saying, what can you do? These are my issues. But I eat bored. Just eat a Crustable. Just throw a few Crustables in your cheeks and let them dissolve. Is that even food? Who cares? It's the closest thing I have to a hug. Crustables. So anyway, you get down to your final three. We said goodbye to Jordan. Now we've got Chuck, Guy, and Pascal. So we've got the fantasy suites. What happens next? It's anybody's game. We'll have to see. I do have another video coming up right after this involving Joan. She called out Martha Stewart because Martha Stewart was on Watch What Happens Live saying she wouldn't go on Golden Bachelor because the guys weren't hot enough. I'm sorry, Martha. I love you, but these are a couple good-looking dudes. So I don't think anything Martha said was said. I think it was all in jest. Martha's got a good sense of humor. But I'm going to play that video for you. I'll have it next. And again, don't forget the Rush Hour podcast with Dave Neal is on Instagram. You know what? I'm going to double check to make sure that's even the right name. So just bear with me for a second here. What the heck's it called? It's called the Rush Hour with Dave Neal. There it is, the Rush Hour with Dave Neal. And I'm adding video elements. Hey, look, we got about 300 new followers yesterday. Unbelievable. So I've got video elements. You can see, some of the clips of what I've got going on and, sharing things like that. All right, folks. So that's going to be it for me. Have a good one. And we'll be back with more right after this.